Dr. Fiaz resigned. Dr. Fiaz was the chairman of the Labour Party in Park Ward, okay? And he sent me a message. I'll tell you what he sent me a message. I've got the information actually now. He sent me a message on um, on the 17th of January. He said, Assalamu alaikum, Khuram. I was unable to take a call earlier. I was given a religious class. I've actually resigned from my position as chair, but I'm willing to attend on the 30th of January just so keep me posted. So they said, okay. I said, I'll resign as secretary and I'll become chairman.
So when did he resign on the 17th of January?
Yes. He said, I'm resigning because, obviously because of the situation in Gaza, but also because I'm busy. You know, I'm busy on my work, my school that I'm opening. The school that he's opening, the Islamic school, he's opening contracts. And he said, look, I can't be doing this. But he said, look, if I can help you guys, I will do. Then interestingly,
how long was he part of the Labour Party chairman?
God knows, I don't know. Maybe he was there before me, maybe about 3 or 4 years actually. Maybe even longer than that. You best off asking him actually to get the real dates. Together actually, all the mosques in Halifax were not coming together, okay, to produce a statement. Okay, and I actually worked with a number of people actually in the community, okay, to get this message across. And I said, if the masjids can't do this, then what can we do together? How can we actually benefit society? And let me just see what else was to get.
Who is this a Calderdale Council Mosque?
Yes. So this is a letter from this email.
I'm really surprised, Khuram, because there was a letter that was going out on the 6th of December condemning the Labour Party and asking all the Muslims, or it was issued by 3 masjids, the Madani Mosque, the State Mosque, and Nurani Masjid, and there was no name on there. And he was saying that we masjids are not going to support Labour whatsoever. And then I heard that this one was issued...
Oh, yes, this is on the 6th of December, right?
Yeah, 6th of December. I even issued...
Yes.
I even issued a little clip just about a month and a half ago, requesting the author of this letter to come forward, so that it's good to pinpoint or identify a problem in our community. But then, what is the solution? The solution is probably to select an independent candidate to represent the community within Park Ward, and none of them came forward. Yeah.
Interesting.
So this is the problem that we see in our community. That a lot of people.
But I guess nobody wants to do it because they feel intimidated, or they feel that their day job will be affected, or because
the question now is, an intelligent person like you, and you mentioned you change it with the hands, you change it with your voice. You've been part of the Labour Party. Now you've been bunned. I'm saying bunned, BUNNED. Yeah, by the Labour Party, they suspended you by just like tweeting a message on, maybe not even your message, just like retweeting Nick. What's that called? Norman Finkelstein.
Norman Finkelstein, yes.
And they suspended you. I mean, if they suspended you on something like that, and you've been raising your voice for Palestine for so long, how come you not left the Labour Party?
Well, that's a good question. And I suppose, I think what happened is that, and I myself, it's probably a mistake on my part. I should have left the Labour Party well before this. After the the defeat last year with Shelf and North Harlem, I should have thought, maybe politics isn't for me, or maybe even gone independent, like you and Sadia have always been told me to do so. I suppose I didn't realize they would get this serious, in terms of, I thought, okay, and it is quite sad actually, in hindsight, I look back now and think, I made a mistake. I should have gone independent. I would have had more of a chance of winning here in Park Ward. But also, sometimes you make these decisions, you make these choices, and sometimes they backfire on you. And I suppose on Labour's part, they probably didn't vet me enough. They probably should have checked my tweets, seen what I've been doing, because of my political stance, my pro-Palestinian stance.
I mean, you mentioned that you've done nothing for Palestine. You didn't even raise your voice, so you've not done anything for Palestine. Yeah, and even
I did in the meetings, in the called the Labour Party meetings.
Yeah, you're not even mentioning the schools that you basically went to, and you basically told the students about Palestine. So you're just like being a Pinocchio here. So I don't know who to trust.
I don't know where you got this statement about the schools.
Because
I said I had a meeting with teachers.
You just mentioned it.
No, I had a meeting with teachers from the NEU. Okay, in town there was a meeting.
You're backtracking on what you've just said. Now you said that you've even spoke to some students in school relating to Palestine, and now you're backtracking. How can we
No, it
trust you
wasn't
as a
schools. It
counsellor?
was
How can we trust
it
you
was
as a
students.
counsellor?
You don't let me talk. Okay, if you let me talk, then I'll answer your question. Okay, and this is a bit like question time and news night. Okay, if you let me talk, then I'll answer the question. Okay, sometimes you make a mistake when you say something. It wasn't schools. It was university students. So there was a meeting at the a cafe opposite the train station um, about a couple of months ago, actually. And again, the same people were there. There was Jenny Lane, there was Parveen, there was David Veach from Elland, and there was loads of people, some old people actually, Berserk. Okay, but also there was a couple of university students actually from Leeds University. Um, and I remember actually one of the students said, "Look, we protested against the reappointment of the chaplain who went to war actually for Israel. He came back and they protested against his involvement. And this was an evening, about 7 o'clock in the evening. Not that many people, about 30 people there from 7 o'clock in the evening till 8 o'clock. And it was mainly geared or targeted towards teachers, people who work in schools, and it was propagated, actually promoted by the NEU, National Education Union. And that's where the link to schools came. And I was sat there, and like I said, I'd come back one evening from work, and I thought, I need to get down there because I want to know what they're talking about.
What did you do? Instead of telling the details of everything, what did you do?
I spoke and I said that, teachers at school need to be able to talk about this without being labelled as anti-Semitic. Okay.
So now you're saying,
and there were a few people.
Now you first of all you said you spoke to students in school. Now you're backtracking.
Yeah.
Spoke with the union. How can we trust you as a counsellor? How can the public trust
Because you just have to. Because why am I talking to you this evening? What time is it now? It's 7:24. Okay. So I could be doing whatever I want now. I could be playing football. I could be out in the park.
Anyway,
I mean,
let's move on to the next topic.
My feelings about this are about participation, but also volunteering as well. I give up my time. Okay. So other people can actually benefit from it.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got a busy day. I can just go home, watch TV, go to the masjid, go for a walk.
You're a good
what I mean?
Okay, let's talk.
My feelings about this is that participation is key. If you don't get involved, you're not going to be heard.
Okay, now you mentioned that you should have left Labour Party a long time ago. What does
Absolutely.
What's the future for you in political arena?
Well, I don't think the Labour Party will actually take me back on, and it's probably like a mutual divorce or a mutual kind of separation, I suppose.
Let's say they do take you back. What are you going to do?
I'll say thanks, but no thanks. I believe that I will be more successful or more powerful as an independent candidate.
Yeah.
So I think that will barely be my future now, inshallah. So
Khuram,
I feel positively,
Khuram, can I advise
feel positively.
Can I advise you? Let's get together. We need people like you under the voice.co.uk to set independent for 2026.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But just now you just call me Pinocchio. Would you still take on Pinocchio?
No. I'm just joking with you, man. I'm just joking with you. Like, it's one of those characters because that didn't want to make this conversation laborious. Yeah. So made it a bit interesting by just having that interaction. So Khuram, I think you're a very intelligent guy. You want to get into politics. Yeah. But Labour, do you think that's the way forward for the Muslims?
No, I think I made a mistake, and I think a lot of people who will vote Labour next week are going to make a mistake. Okay, you need to think with your heart. You need to think, by voting Labour, you're making a mistake. But also, I feel that, as a person, you have to think intelligently. How can I actually contribute to the benefit of society? But also, as Muslim people living in the UK, we need an alternative platform. We need a platform where we have tolerance, we have respect, but also, we have to think carefully, okay? We don't have to think about ourselves. Think the next 15, 20 years about our children and their children as well. So I think Halifax Voice is the right platform. And, inshallah, I think, this is the right place to work with. And, given the time, I'm willing to spend hours and hours sitting down, developing and writing a manifesto, developing and writing schemes of work or whatever needs to be done to support the candidates, not only myself, but other people as well who are interested.
I think
we need to get the message across. We need to get the message across, okay, to support and also promote politics in a manner that will actually not be about, violence, but, about peace, about respect, but also about education. How can we actually benefit Halifax? How can we benefit Park Ward? How can we benefit Worley? How can we benefit Town? We need to look at things that people have contributed towards the development of a town. And we need to work on ways which we can actually make Halifax a better place.
So,
And I think you guys are going the right way about it, inshallah. So
yeah,
I fully support. I fully support you. I fully support your platform, and inshallah, if you want to include me, and if you want to work with me, I'm willing to work with you guys,
definitely.
inshallah.
So, for future for you in terms of Ellen, the elections are coming up next week. What have you to say regarding Labour and the way they treated you?
Number one, please support the Islamic Palestinian resistance movement in Gaza, through medical aid for Palestinians. Donate money as much as you can, please. Even if it's 5 pence or 10 pence or £1 or £2, donate as much as you can to help the medical aid for Palestinians. Okay, that's the charity I support. Number two, again, if people want to vote for me, please go ahead and vote for me. You'll get a candidate who's independent. I'll represent.
At the moment, you are Labour. So why
no,
should they vote
Labour have not supported me. Labour are not supporting me anymore.
No,
because they suspended me. Okay, my name will be on the list as Labour, but as far as I know, and based on the rules and the legality of it, is that if I do win, like I said to you, it's very unlikely now, is that I'll be an independent candidate.
No, but if you do win and Labour wants you back, how would you react to that?
No, I'll say no, thank you. Again, like I said, I'll probably, I'm just waiting for the appeal now, see what happens, and then take it from there, inshallah. So, I'll actually resign myself, from the Labour Party. So I don't think it's going to be positive, because it's been about 10 days now since they've, wrote to me and I've appealed, because I want to clear my name. I don't want to be seen as somebody
Absolutely.
who's,
I
want to clear my name.
That's the attitude that I like to see from you, Khuram. We all support you because Labour has not treated you. They have BUNNED'd you like they did Azhar Ali, when he was standing in Rochdale. So I've got my sympathy for you, and I think you should send a voice out now against Labour. Now, talking about that...
Well, this is my message. If everyone watches this video, okay, get this message out and about. Tell the people of Elland, okay, that the only way that you're going to actually be successful is if you vote for me.
No. Forget voting for you. Like, I'm talking about Park Ward. If you're saying that don't support Labour, now you've got Sadia Zaman in Park Ward as well, and you've got Shakar Sagir and the Green Party, and then you got Samuel for the Lib Dems.
Yes.
What would you say about Sadia Zaman? Because since you've had a bad treatment with Labour and you're saying don't vote for Labour, what would you say for Sadia Zaman?
100%. People need to go out and vote in their conscience to what you feel is right.
No, but you being part of the Labour Party, the way you were treated, do you think that the people should vote for Labour in Park Ward?
No, I think they shouldn't vote for Labour. I think people should vote for Shaka, the independent candidate, because we need an alternative in Park Ward. And I think, I think Sadia, she's a wonderful lady. She's done a lot for the community. Okay, but under the Labour platform, it'll be very successful. And I think, there is that kind of stifling opposition now, and I think Shaka could potentially win in Park Ward. So, at the end of the day, people have their own conscience. Okay, I'm not going to influence anybody, but if people want to listen to what I'm saying, okay, go out there next week, do vote, please. Okay, the most important thing is to vote, and vote with your conscience. We need to get the message across to the Labour Party, but also, the wider world, and West Yorkshire and in this area. Bullets matter. The killing of innocents. Civilians especially.
So
it's wrong.
You're saying about Sadia Zaman, she's been part of the Labour Party. Do you think that she is supporting genocide?
Look, I can't speak on behalf of somebody else, okay? And it's wrong for me to do that, okay? Because end of the day, she's got her own platform, she's got her own voice, and Sadia should have an interview with you. And if you've given her an option, you have an interview. Have you given her an interview?
I sent her 3 emails. She's rejected. She's not responded back to the emails. So what would you say that?
I see.
What would you say that to Khuram? A message to Sadia to come on the halifaxvoice.co.uk platform?
Absolutely, go for it because you're getting a message across out to people, and at least this way, this is a platform that people can hear and listen to you. It's like a radio station, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
So another
the more
thing.
people this gets out to, the better
Yeah.
it is.
So now, Khuram, final note. Are you a reform character? You're not going to go back to Labour again. Can you just do a public tawbah to everyone?
Yes, 100%. I apologize for hurting people's feelings. I made a mistake, and please, from the bottom of my heart, my brothers and my sisters from Calderdale, Park Ward, Elland, if they can accept my apology, that would be amazing.
Apology about what? Being part of the Labour Party.
Yeah, being part of the Labour Party, and being, in a way, kind of swindled.
What you've just mentioned now, I hope it goes a long way, but you have won my heart by apologizing on
That's
that.
nice to hear.
Yeah. And
Thank you.
we would like to have you back, but that next time we would like to have you to explore more about the education side of you, how the community can benefit regarding education. Maybe you can be the education leader within the halifaxvoice.co.uk because you've got 20 years of.
Absolutely. What about also potentially putting up a candidate from Halifax Voice or the Independents to rival Holly Lynch?
It's too late now. Yeah.
Is it?
To go for local elections. But
Not local elections, but the national elections. In October,
Yeah.
could you put a candidate forward for that?
Couldn't we want someone like you
Sure.
to come forward, and would we love to put you forward as an independent candidate against Holy Lynch? Yeah, why don't you stand against Holy Lynch in October?
Why not? Why not? If I can get the financial support and the moral support, I'll do it.
Yeah, inshallah. We'll talk about that offline, inshallah. And I think you'll be a very
All right.
good candidate as well because you'll be a member of Labour Party. You left the Labour Party for obvious reasons, and now you're standing against Labour to punish the Labour. Do you think Labour should be punished, Khuram?
Well, it's how. Yeah, I suppose
ballot box because
Yeah, absolutely. I think as you mentioned when you went to the town hall, you did that infamous or famous speech. It's the ballot or the bullet. So I think the important thing here is to recognise that people do make mistakes and they need to be held accountable for what they did. And Holly Lynch, she decided to keep her job. And she's obviously got a mortgage. So I suppose people do that for that reason. But on the flip side, she you could say that she supported genocide. So I guess, I was not able to question her that much because in my role, you're kind of limited. And I think in the Colourable Labour Party also, one of the things I recognised when I was there in the meetings is that you could only talk about certain things. And if you went off topic, somebody would say, you can't say that. Or they'd say, no, you can't do that.
Yes,
so, you know what I mean? So you kind of limited to what you could say or what you could do. So
yeah.
that was the situation.
If you are limited as to what you can say and who you can account within the Labour Party, now the famous quote that I say are the members that are at the bottom of the ladder. Do you think they are shackled in the slavery of Labour?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, like I said to you, you're not able to actually dictate or have any influence. It's very finite. Okay, it's like you've got this little box. You can only focus on these kind of things. So I think as an independent candidate, you probably have more power about what you could do in terms of the scope of your potential. So yeah, I agree with you. I think if you're an independent candidate,
on 14th of February, Lib Dem were the first one to put the motion for Palestine, and then Labour counteracted that motion, and because they've got a majority there in the council, they voted against the first motion that was put forward. So from what I can deduce from there is to have a majority in the local council chamber is not healthy because there's sometimes the parties can make irrational decisions based on party affiliation or party feuds or stubbornness or something like that. So it's not really healthy. So what we really need for Halifax is something that is diverse, a hung council, where there will be more of a debate is initiated, and so forth. Then have a majority council, because like that you're just bound to make irrational decisions without any debate.
because you can't vote against the whip or you can't vote against
Yeah,
your kind of group line as such. I think that's what the question is
So
based around.
Khuram,
Yeah,
what's your final closing remarks about this interview before we close off? Because
I think, inshallah, I hope for a peaceful solution in Palestine, a two-state solution. I also want young people who are interested in politics to get involved. And the most important thing also is education. Like I said to you before.
any final remarks for Park Ward, especially the candidates that are there, like Sadia Zaman? Should we boycott her?
Yes, I've had a long thought about this, and I've had a week or so since I've been suspended, and I think, I've had very little support um, from people in the Labour Party, but I had some support from the Labour Party. But I'd say in Park Ward, the message that we want to put forward is that, vote independent, because we need to put the message across that people here are not happy with the overall cause of the Labour Party. So how do we put that message across? Can't do it through violence. We can't do it um, through boycotting things, obviously, by leaving work or stopping work. So intellectually, in a clever way, what can we do? On the 2nd of May, people should vote, okay, and
So
people should
there's
vote
two
independent.
independent candidates that are standing here, Shakir Sagir and Sabir Hussain from the
Uh-huh.
Green Party. Shakir Sagir is standing as
Uh-huh.
independent for Workers' Party, and the other guy,
Mm.
Sabir Hussain, is standing for the Greens. Who would you recommend from these two independent guys? Green is obviously established.
Either of them, honestly, I've spoken to both of them, and I think both of them are good. And end of the day, you know, whatever I say may not influence people, but it may get
Believe
the
me,
message across.
your
The important
voice
thing is that people.
it counts a lot because you're part of the Labour Party and you are saying that we shouldn't vote for Sadia Zaman. Is that correct?
Absolutely, I've said that, I did support Sadia in the past, and I was one of the persons who actually voted for her whilst I was the secretary of the Labour Party when she was up against Parveen and the other candidate who I can't remember. So I 100% think that people should vote independent. And, whether you vote Shaka or whether you vote Saba, it's entirely up to people themselves. They make their own choice. Both of them are very good candidates because, again, you'll be voting for genocide. So
So, and final note, yeah, Khuram, for your interview, the whole public and I specifically, my love goes out to you greatly now. Alhamdulillah. And if
okay,
you
brother.
come on voice, inshallah, you will be more than welcome here to participate and help us out. We want to grow this platform, inshallah, in our local community. But I
All
think it's
right.
going to be very, very useful if you come on board with Halifax Voice.uk.
Inshallah, I'm ready. I'm ready, inshallah. And
Thank you very much, Khuram. It has been a pleasure meeting you, and we love
take care.
you,
All right.
Khuram. Yeah, assalamu alaikum. Yeah, assalamu alaikum.
Take care, brother. Assalamu alaikum.